violence or no other kind of violence.
Get away! I could be at work, at school, in my car, I can still get shot by the police, but I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.
What's good, YouTube? It's the Black Gen Z Mindset. Make sure you go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe, and let's get into the video.
The big story in Action News is the shooting death of a 9-year-old girl in Trenton, New Jersey. It happened last night during a big brawl in the courtyard of an apartment building there. Tonight.
Wow. 9-year-old girl killed. Trenton, New Jersey. It's ridiculous, man. Absolutely ridiculous.
The gunman remains on the loose. Action News reporter Katie Catro joins us live from Trenton with the latest. Katie.
And Walter, we're here outside of that apartment complex behind me. It was all taped off here last night. Police are continuing their investigation today, looking for who's responsible. We did just speak with the mayor of Trenton, and he says police are working around the clock to find who's responsible.
She was being at the wrong place at the wrong time.
Police tape surrounded Kingsbury Square in Trenton last night. Police say a 9-year-old girl was struck by a bullet as fights broke out among a large group.
And this is super dangerous, and I'm not expecting this 9-year-old girl to know this. But what I always say, man, if you see some super gremlins hooking, fighting, just understand that super gremlins don't fight no more. If there's a fight that breaks out between super gremlins, it's going to be some bussing. They going to start shooting, all right? It's only a matter of time. So make sure if you see a fight between super gremlins, don't sit there and try and film it. Don't sit there and try and watch and be entertained. Get your behind up out of the vicinity. And unfortunately, this 9-year-old kid, I don't know where the parents were, where the family members were, but they didn't have enough sense to get her away from that situation. And unfortunately, it cost her her life.
Around 7:30 last night.
We won't stop until that person is caught. This was a horrific incident, cutting down an innocent life.
Trenton's mayor believes the young girl was outside in the common area where people congregate when she was struck. He does not believe she was the intended target.
It is a horrific incident, and it's a loss of life. And all Trentonians are grieving now at this really sad and unfortunate news.
And the Mercer County Homicide Task Force is currently working on this investigation as well. The mayor says he really needs the public's help on this one. If you have any information, authorities want to hear from you. Reporting live in Trenton, Katie Catro, Channel 6 Action News. Walter.
All right, thank you, Katie.
I'm here on the corner of MLK and Frederick Douglass, where a shooting just took place. And as you can see, it's a pretty rough area. So I'm basically risking my life reporting on this madness. So make sure you do me a favor and hit the subscribe button. Like the video, hell, share the video. And make sure you go ahead and leave a comment down in the comments section to continue the discussion on how we can find solutions to all this son violence in the streets. I'm Jenquavius Jackson, here live, reporting from Atlanta, Georgia, BGZM News 17.
A 15-year-old boy is the latest young victim of Philadelphia's gun violence crisis. Sean Toomey was shot just outside his home, and tonight police are still looking for the gunman.
NBC 10's Matt DeLucia has been speaking to investigators and the boy's family. He joins us now from the victim's neighborhood in Wissinoming. Matt.
Yeah, and Jacqueline, a high-level police source told me tonight that investigators are still trying to pinpoint exactly what led up to this 15-year-old being shot while trying to get water from a car.
Wow. So this 15-year-old glider goes outside, tries to get water from his car, and gets struck down, man.
Can't describe it. It's not something I want anyone to experience.
John Toomey says his son Sean went out to grab this case of water from their car Thursday night around 9. When he didn't come back inside, John says he heard 2 pops and went out to check on him.
I went outside and I saw him lying on my neighbor's lawn there.
Lord have mercy. Whew. That's tough. That's tough. And you never know when it can happen, how it can happen. But I'm telling you guys right now, these super gremlins are on demon time.
Sean had been shot in the head and his side.
Doctor said he's brain dead. So every time I turned away from him, saw him again, I would break down and just, it was over and over. And he's only 15.
Police say it started when two men approached a woman in this parking lot trying to open her door.
Wow, so it looks like they probably tried to jack her car. Okay, there's a lot of carjackings going on in Philly, in Philly, and that's how you know that it was a super gremlin.
She called for her boyfriend upstairs in this apartment building. The thieves ran off, but then gunshots were heard.
He's a good kid, doesn't bother anybody, and didn't deserve that.
This neighbor said anybody could have been the victim last night.
You shouldn't have to say that to people. Once it gets dark, stay in, wait until tomorrow. But it is getting to the point where, like, I don't feel comfortable.
Okay, and the sister right here, if you ask her, why don't you feel comfortable? Who is it that is making you feel uncomfortable to go outside on your own property at night? Who are these people that you speak of that are making it uncomfortable? Any guesses? Any hints?
You shouldn't have to say that to people. Once it gets dark, stay in, wait until tomorrow. But it is getting to the point where, like, I don't feel comfortable.
I'm probably going to move out of here. I was born and raised in this neighborhood. Now kids are getting shot on the streets.
Wow. And I wish that he would have moved earlier. You know, anybody who's in Philly who can just make a clean break, I would advise you to do so, because this issue is not going to be fixed anytime soon. Okay? There's no solution, and the people in power are not willing to implement what could actually deter some of these things, because it's always going to continue to happen as long as you got super gremlins on demon time. All right. So, you know, the authorities, and not the police officers, but the judges, the district attorneys, the prosecutors, they have made their decision not to work to solve this problem. They think that preventative, preemptive programs and measures is going to stop these super gremlins from doing what they do, and they're highly mistaken.
And John says he's planning to donate his son's organs. Meantime, police say they are still reviewing surveillance video from the area, and at this point, no one has been arrested. Live in Wissinoming, I'm Matt DeLucia, NBC 10 News.
Matt, thank you.
A trip to the car to get some water ends in tragedy. The family of a 15-year-old boy says he is now brain dead after someone shot him outside his home. It's Friday afternoon. I'm Brian Tapp.
And I'm Sarah Bloomquist. The big story on Action News is the search for answers in this senseless act of violence. Police are still working to figure out exactly what led up to last night's shooting.
Action News reporter Jacqueline Lee live near the scene where this all played out in
Okay, Jacqueline tough.
Wissinoming. Jacqueline, you spoke to that boy's heartbroken father today.
That's right, Brian and Sarah. The family is just devastated. The father says they're still processing it. Now, police say they have 3 working theories right now, and they're currently reviewing video surveillance to see what happened.
It's a lot to take in.
John Toomey just got back from Jefferson Torresdale Hospital, where his 15-year-old son, Sean Toomey, is now brain dead after getting hit by 2 bullets last night around 9:12 p.m.
Every time I turned away from him, saw him again, I would break down and just, it was over and over. And it's,
And my thing is, like, we have super gremlins out here talking about glider privilege, what privilege does this man have? Looks like an everyday working guy. I don't know what happened to his wife or whatnot. Maybe she didn't want to get on camera. Maybe she's not in the picture. But potentially a single father raising a young boy. They're still in the hood. They're still in you know, not the best neighborhood, apparently. And his son is shot and killed. What privilege does this man have? Please tell me. What privilege does he have over anybody else? Over any super gremlins for that matter? Are we just out here saying, oh, because he's a glider, he has privilege? That's BS. What abilities does he have over these super gremlins? Because I'll tell you the type of privilege that these super gremlins have. They have the privilege of shooting a 15-year-old boy and getting away with it. That's privilege. And unless the gunfire or their bullets are tied into another shooting, they're not going to get caught. Okay? So we got to stop with this BS privilege narrative. Because it's not authentic and it's disingenuous at best.
He's only 15, you know. Kid, he's in the house most time playing with his computer and his phone, you know, just went out to get some water.
Police say Toomey was just getting water from the car on the 6200 block of Mulberry Street. Officials say at the same time across the street, there were 2 male suspects pulling on a woman's car door as she drove into her apartment complex. That woman called her boyfriend for help, and by the time that boyfriend got outside, police say the 2 suspects ran off, but then shots were fired. Police have ruled out the boyfriend.
And I heard the 2 pops, and I thought it was firecrackers. But then he had, you know, it only takes a second to grab some water, come back in the house, and he wasn't coming back in. So I got curious. I pulled my sweatshirt on. I went outside, and I saw him lying on my neighbor's lawn.
That's when Toomey discovered his own son had been shot, once in the head, once in the side.
Can't describe it. It's not.
Man, I feel so bad for this guy. I feel so bad for this guy, and he can't express how he really feels. You know what I mean? Even though you can see the pain, you can see the emotion, but you could tell that he has to hold back for the news. He can't really vent how he wants to vent, because he probably in his mind like, man, this neighborhood going down the gutter, everybody getting shot, these super gremlins doing this and that, like, but now it's like, where do you go from here?
Something I want anyone to experience.
Right now, police are not sure if the teen was caught in the crossfire or if he was targeted. The Toomeys say Sean loved sports, especially the Eagles, and kept to himself. They say he will probably only live another day.
He's a quiet, nice kid with a nice smile.
And police say they're looking at an attempted robbery at an ATM around the corner. They're not sure if it's related to this shooting, but that attempted robbery happened just minutes before. We're live in Wissahickon. Jacqueline Lake, Channel 6 Action News. Sarah.
Just so tragic, Jacqueline. Thank you.
Gang violence and other kind of violence.
Get away! I could be at work.